Hi and welcome to my class on drawing hands. The first thing we're going to do for this project is I just want you to have a little bit of a practice. Now, by practice I mean I just want you to do some quick sketches filling up a page. You can use your own hand as reference. And what I want you to do is really think about breaking your hand into shapes, okay? So quite often we start with this sort of odd shaped square for our palm and knuckle area and start to work out where our fingers might come from there. They sort of come out on a bit of an angle as well. How our thumb might extend from there. Something like this. And start to really think about how you can get your hand to make, so we need fairly even width, so that's one finger, one, two, three, four fingers, and the fingers don't touch either, so to start off with I would just have these four sort of rectangles coming out. Obviously this third one here is a bit longer, and that one will come off the edge there. I'm going to bring mine in a little bit more there. Okay, so this is a really good basis to starting to draw your hand, okay? The problem is not very often when we're drawing hands in an image are our hands perfectly placed like that. So we need to think about when we change the angle of our hands, how these particular shapes move. Once we've worked that out, it means that we can come back in and add all our little details to whichever way we have our shapes placed. So for example, if a hand is slightly on an angle, I'm going to start with my shape again, but this time I have like a bit of a 3D angle to it. So I need to bring in a side of the hand, side of that wrist. So then each one of my fingers will need to have that as well. Okay, so that would come down there and they would actually have a side as well. So you would be able to see a fingernail. I'm just putting a couple of fingernails on there so you can start to see how that would work. When you're thinking about hands on these sort of angles, always try and break your fingers down to 3 sections, because those knuckles give us very clear areas, okay? So if we have 1, 2, 3 different angles, it very quickly gives us the impression of a finger, okay? So always look for those 3. So even in a front on hand, we've got 1, 2, and that's our third one there. In our thumb, it's a little bit different because you have this big knuckle here, and then you just have the, like another bone part that comes out to meet up here. And on the inside, you only really have 2 sections before your actual thumb part. Okay, so that's just a very quick overview. I want you to go away, have a few practices of that. And then for our project, what I'd like you to do is hop on to the Auslan website. There's one called Signbank. So if you put SignBank into your browser, have a look at the SignBank alphabet. It actually gives you real hands making the signs. So it means that you can copy the hands directly. If you get on some of the other posters and things of Auslan, it gives you more cartoon type images. So we want to try and keep our hands as realistic as possible. For this project, I decided we'd try and do our name, or in the case that I've done here, I've done my initials. So this is how you would sign the letter C for Kathy. And this is how you would sign the letter M for McKay. So I think they look really good, nice and bright. You would be able to line them up, maybe stick them on your wall in your bedroom or something, and have like a panel going. If you're struggling with time, just stick with your initials, one each page. If you're feeling really ambitious and you have the time, I would give your whole name a go. It's really good practice for hand drawing, and you could come up with some really cool ideas. So for a background, all I did here was I actually Googled, I didn't even make it up myself, I Googled pop art landscapes, I think, and I got the idea for this landscape in the background from that, and I just popped that on there. I've used markers for mine. You could use coloured pencils, pastels, watercolours, whatever it is you have in your little art supplies bank. For this one here, I just started to use a pattern, so just some random flowers. So you can think of any pattern you like to put in the background, but I think if you make them nice and bright, then they can connect some way like these two. They just connect because of the colours, not because they are the same images. So go away and have a go with that. Enjoy. Make sure you show me your pictures. Thank you.